You asked for reason. Look, I would refer you to the government of Qatar for reasons related to an arrest or detention. I don't think I am the right person here to comment on that. All I would like to say is that yes, this issue is something that we have been pursuing. I have talked about it, earlier. Our embassy in Doha has been regularly raising the issue with Qatari authorities. I understand that among the recent developments, I have been briefed, I think last week, a couple of weeks ago when we met, that some family members have recently been permitted to visit their relatives in detention. We are separately seeking further consular access, and as soon as we have further updates, we will continue to share them. But anything on the legal side of it, I would ask you to contact the Qatari side. Siddhant, your question was on the recent meeting in Bali, the Prime Minister's visit. You specifically asked about President Biden's meeting with that. Look, we've seen some social media stuff. So let me just say, Prime Minister did meet President Biden on a number of occasions during the course of the Bali summit, including a brief bilateral meeting and a trilateral meeting that involved President Widodo. During these interactions, they exchanged views on a number of issues. Our press releases and tweets, as well as you would recall Foreign Secretary's briefing in Bali, encapsulates all these conversations. I think the US side has also issued its readout of the trilateral meeting and also separately indicated, I think the spokesperson did, that a brief bilateral meeting took place between the two leaders. So that's what I would like to say. May I add that it's not clear to me why there is any controversy about this meeting, particularly because I saw something on social media. We have seen some incorrect social media posts which actually attribute what I would say are false statements to the External Affairs Minister, who, if you recall, has not made any comment at all on this to the press or on social media, and also frankly attributes false statements to the White House press secretary, if you look at what they actually said versus what the social media posts are. So I would urge you all not to lend credence to such incorrect information. शैलेंद्र जी, आपका प्रश्न था जाकिर नायक के बारे में. देखिए, जैसे आपने खुद ही कहा कि आपने भगोड़े की बात की, वो हमारे यहाँ पे कानूनी सिस्टम में उनके आरोपी हैं और कानून द्वारा घोषित भगोड़ा हैं. हमने मलेशिया के साथ उनके एक्सट्रेडिशन की बात उठाई है, कोशिश कर रहे हैं. हमने कतर के साथ भी इस मामले को उठाया है. हम उनसे भारत में न्याय का सामना करने के लिए सभी आवश्यक स्टेप्स कदम उठाने की जारी रखेंगे. तो आपने ये कहा था कि ये इशू मुद्दा उठाया गया था, नहीं, तो ये मेरा आंसर होगा. मधुरेंद्र जी, आपका सवाल इसी से जुड़ा था पर थोड़ा अलग था. देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री पाकिस्तान ने क्या कहा था मैंने देखा नहीं, ना मैं उसमें जाऊंगा. मैं सिर्फ ये दोहराऊंगा कि हाँ, यहाँ पे हमारे जो कानूनी न्याय सिस्टम में उनको आना चाहिए वापस, और उसके लिए जो भी हमें स्टेप्स लेना है वो हम ले रहे हैं. ये हमारा कमेंट ये होगा, मैंने जो अभी दोहराया. कविता जी, यू आस्क्ड टूरिस्ट वीज़ा के संबंध में. देखिए, नॉर्मली वीज़ा सिस्टम किसी और देश का होता है. हमने बीच बीच में आप लोग को बताया है कि जैसे स्टूडेंट्स का हो या इस तरह के केसेस में हमने ऐसे कंसर्न्स रेज किए हैं कि देखिए, बहुत कोई सिस्टम होना चाहिए, कोई प्रेडिक्टेबिलिटी आनी चाहिए. ऐसे नॉर्मली टूरिस्ट वीज़ा के केसेस में नहीं रेज करते हम डायरेक्टली, पर हम चाहते यही है कि जब इंडियंस कोई जाना चाहे कहीं, कोई सिस्टम टूरिस्ट वीज़ा या बिजनेस वीज़ा जो भी काम से, जो कोई इतना ऐसा लंबा ना हो या सिस्टम सिंपल हो वीज़ाज़ का, ये हमारी अपेक्षा रहेगी. पर इसको हमने फॉर्मली लिया है नहीं, मुझे मालूम नहीं. मैं एक्सपेक्ट करूँगा कि नहीं लिया, क्योंकि हमारे साथ भी हम नहीं चाहेंगे कि हमारे वीज़ा सिस्टम पे भी कोई कमेंट करे. पर हम ये चाहेंगे कि कोई सिस्टम प्रेडिक्टेबल हो, सिंपल हो और इतना टाइम ना लगे. हमने ये भी देखा है कि यहाँ के दूतावास, अमेरिकी दूतावास ने कमेंट किया कि वो स्टेप्स ले रहे हैं ताकि ये कम हो जाए, और हमें आशा ही करते हैं कि कम हो जाए इस दौरान जो आप करें 1000 दिन या कुछ. मैं इसको एग्जैक्ट डिटेल्स नहीं है मेरे पास, मैंने सिर्फ मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स देखी. ओके, नेक्स्ट राउंड. सॉरी, रिलेटेड टू दिस, या यस प्लीज. विदाउट द माइक्रोफोन आई कांट हियर यू.
Reza from Hindustan Times. You said it has been raised with Qatar. When you say raised with Qatar, are you talking about extradition? Just that clarification. Zakir Naik.
Okay. Now, as I said, the issue of Zakir Naik being wanted has been raised. Extradition is a very legal terminology, and I would not like to use it loosely, and I didn't use it specific to that. Yeah, we'll start with that. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have one.
Sorry, microphone.
Okay. Yeah. I had one clarification from the previous one where you spoke about the issue of the 8 naval officers being pursued. I just had a specific question. Did Vice President Dhankar raise the issue of these 8 naval officers with his interlocutors when he was in Doha?
During this visit?
For this particular visit for the FIFA World Cup or not? Because we didn't see it mentioned anywhere in the tweets or in the press release. The second question is on the meetings today with the Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister. Has India proposed restarting oil imports from Iran at this point?
Okay, I saw. No, Pranay, I'll come back to you. Yeah. You didn't have a question. Now you have a question. Okay. Fair enough.
The Secretary East, he's in South America and he's had a visit in Venezuela. So just is energy security on top of the agenda of his visit? Did he talk to the Venezuelan side for the money which is already stuck there and getting it back, as well as starting imports from there?
Money stuck. Okay, you didn't introduce yourself? So no, I know you, Huma, but for the record. Okay. Somebody else had it. Okay, please, go ahead. Microphone. Sorry, go ahead.
Tawqir Hussain from Yamuri. This is regarding the crypto human trafficking and the fake job scam that has lured people to Myanmar and Cambodia. So I just want to know that what is the latest number of the Indians that has been rescued so far, and is there any hotline that MEA has started? Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar, yes.
Hotline?
And, yeah.
Sorry, Negra, what do you mean a hotline?
Helpline.
Oh, helpline,
Yeah,
okay.
helpline.
Okay.
And how many Indians have been brought back?
Okay, I'll say it. Okay, Pranay.
प्रणय उपाध्याय एबीपी न्यूज से सर यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स कमीशन फॉर इंटरनेशनल रिलीजियस फ्रीडम की एक रिपोर्ट आई है जिसके अंदर भारत के जो भारत में मानवाधिकार हैं और धार्मिक स्वतंत्रता है उसको लेकर काफ़ी टिप्पणियां की गई हैं। विदेश मंत्रालय इससे पहले कई बार कहता रहा है कि इस तरीके की टिप्पणियां इनएक्यूरेट हैं, अनवारंटेड हैं, लेकिन उसके बावजूद इस तरीके से ईयर एंड अचानक से इस तरीके का एक बार फिर रिव्यू आना, आप इसे किस तरीके से देखते हैं और आपकी प्रतिक्रिया क्या है?
Okay, I'll take one more. There's somebody else's hand. Yeah, one second. I saw her hand earlier. Please, I'll come back to you.
Sir, Ayushi from ANI. So there are ongoing protests in Iran after the Mahsa Amini's death, and we know that Deputy Foreign Minister is here. I would want to know if there is any reaction from India on these protests.
Okay, let me take this round of questions. I'll come for. So Hasini, first of all, on the clarification, no, I don't think I mentioned either that the Vice President raised it personally. Let me just clarify. Since you raised the issue of the Vice President's visit, at the invitation of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Amir of Qatar, the Vice President visited Qatar to attend the inaugural ceremony of this 2022 FIFA World Cup, I think it's called. He, as you are aware, he also had interaction with a cross-section of the Indian community resident there. His program, which was very short, did not permit structured meetings. However, he did briefly meet the Amir during the visit. You would have seen some tweet and photos that we have circulated. And on Zakir Naik, on the issue of the 8 Indian veterans, Indian citizens who are there, that issue has been raised with Qatar, but I didn't say by the Vice President. As I said, there were no structured meetings. As regards the Iran issue, look, somebody else also raised, I think, Ayushi, you also raised something on the Deputy Foreign Minister's thing. Look, I think we have, yesterday he met with today was Foreign Secretary, the Deputy Foreign Minister was here, and yesterday he had a call on EM. Look, we issued a press release. We have talked about both tweets, I think, for both the meetings. We did mention in both of them. They talked about connectivity. They talked about regional global developments. I am not in a position to share any further details about that conversation or the conversations, so I'll leave it at that. As regards our general comment on that, you had asked, Ayushi, I think this question I have answered earlier about the protests at various parts. I didn't have a comment on that at that time. I don't have any update on that at this moment. Huma, you mentioned about the ongoing visit of Secretary East. Again, I'm a little hesitant to get into details of any conversation. Yes, of course, energy and security, energy is an important element. We have been trying to put out tweets, press releases, the Foreign Office consultations that Secretary East has been having with different, not just Venezuela, there are other countries. But let's see if you have anything particular to share. What the topic you mentioned is something that has been discussed bilaterally in the past, but I don't know if I have a specific response on that. Maybe once the visit is over or we have something more to share. Tokir, you raised the issue of Myanmar, people who have been actually... We discussed this earlier, I think some time ago, where people from India and frankly other places have got lured, got stuck in Myanmar, and in Laos and Cambodia also. We have issued advisories. Our missions in Yangon and Bangkok specifically, and also in Consulate General in Chiang Mai, have been actively pursuing these cases of Indians trapped in fake job rackets in Myanmar. Broadly, you wanted some numbers. From totaling it from different missions, we have managed to rescue over 200 people. Okay, of which 153, and that I have a specific number, have already been repatriated to India. So they are back safely in India. But the remaining, 50 odd people are in process of repatriation. Some are in Thai custody, pending paperwork, and some are in Thailand or elsewhere. I think it's in Thailand. I think the ones from Myanmar have come back. So they are in process, I would say, or we are taking steps. We are in touch with the Thai authorities regarding completion of legal formalities that will allow, hopefully, the remaining people to be repatriated. We also separately mentioned Laos and Cambodia. I think I had raised a number. Let me see if I have something more. Around, I would say, about 60, mid-60s, 64, I think, another 367 Indians from Laos, I would say, between mid-60s. I think 11 are coming back today, so 60-something from Laos have been repatriated, and about 108, I think, from Cambodia, a little more than 100 from Cambodia. So that's the broad numbers that I have. Let me reiterate again, since you mentioned this issue. Look, we have been issuing advisories. We have been requested both Myanmar and Thai authorities to give importance to these cases, to give consideration, facilitated repatriation. Our embassies, as well as we have been in touch with our, frankly, authorities here in India, different offices, so that in the state governments, as well as our POE offices, we're trying to get the details of the agents involved in this job racket. We have been sharing with our agencies to take action, appropriate action. We have been trying to put it on our website of the others, other embassies. The understanding we have is that they have been, they get entrapped into perpetrating call center and digital crypto scams. They are lured mostly through recruitment agents based in Dubai, we have heard, India, but also directly through social media, and mostly Thailand, some in case directly Myanmar, and then people get a visa on arrival in Thailand and then they are taken over. Just a word of caution to all those who may be listening in, or those who want to work in Thailand cannot get the Thai visa on arrival. The visa on arrival is for tourism. So if somebody is offering a job and it says visa on arrival, that something is wrong. It doesn't permit employment, and we would therefore, urge prospective job seekers to exercise extreme caution in accepting these kind of dubious employment offers. You mentioned about helpline. Yes, our embassies have a number which you can reach. That's how we know there are many more people who are stuck in Myanmar largely, and we are trying to see what we can do to get them out. I don't have an exact number, but as I said, this number is dynamic, depends on number of people who are being able to get out. Sadly, more and more people do get sucked into this on a weekly basis. Pranay, you mentioned about US CIRF report. आपने जैसे ठीक कहा, पहले भी इस बारे में हमने कुछ कहा था. मैं उसको दोहराना नहीं चाहूँगा, पर बीच बीच में ये आता रहता है. इस बार कोई मिड ईयर रिपोर्ट या एंड ईयर रिपोर्ट आया है. हमारी तरफ से कमेंट तो मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा कि जो USCIRF द्वारा भारत के बारे में ये पक्षपाती और गलत टिप्पणियों को देखा है हमने. तथ्यों को लगातार गलत तरीके से पेश करने की उनकी ये प्रवृत्ति है. भारत और उसके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल फ्रेमवर्क हमारी प्लुरलिटी और मजबूत लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था को समझ की कमी फिर से दर्शाती है। हम जैसे कह चुके हैं कि उनको हमारे ये फ्रेमवर्क वो समझते नहीं होंगे। उनके पिछले रिकॉर्ड को देखते हुए हमें ये देखकर आश्चर्य नहीं होता है कि USCIRF ने अपने ये जो प्रेजुडिसेस हैं निर्देशित है और उनकी ये मोटिवेटेड एजेंडा पर चलता है, जिसकी विश्वसनीय और पर उनका जो अपना क्रेडिबिलिटी है उस पर हमें सवाल उठता है उनके। Look, as I've been telling Pranay, we have seen these reports from USCIRF. This is some NDR report or media report, I'm not sure exactly, but let me just make an overall comment that we consider these, we've seen these biased and inaccurate observations about India by USCIRF. They have a tendency to consistently misrepresent facts, and this shows a lack of understanding, their understanding of India, our constitutional framework, plurality, and our robust democratic system. Given its past record, we are not surprised to see that USCIRF continues to be guided by its prejudices and pursues a motivated agenda that calls into question its own credibility. I think that was it. Any other questions? I thought a couple of. Near. What? This is the USCIRF is not part of the US government, and its recommendations are made. I don't know whether this has been a specific thing. This is only on the specific report of the USCIRF that came out, I think, a couple of days ago. Neeraj.
सर, अगले महीने 5 तारीख से पश्चिमी देश जो है रूस से निर्यात होने वाले तेल पे प्राइस कैप लगाने वाले, क्या इसका असर भारत पर भी होगा? भारत जो रूस से तेल का आयात कर रहे हैं।
There was one more question. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Rajesh Mishra from Kantipur Media Group, Kathmandu. Sir, general elections have just been completed in Nepal. The results keep coming. How is India seeing these elections of Nepal? Thank you.
Okay. Abhishek?
Sir, Abhishek from CNN News 18. Sir, I have actually two questions, but they're sort of related. First is the US State Department in its recent briefing has said that on the waiver of Saudi Crown Prince to travel to USA, they have mentioned Prime Minister Modi's name and given example of that. So your comment on that. And also, media has reported that Prime Minister Modi's USA visit is not happening apparently because US President has opted to have bilateral with French President Macron. So your comment on that.
There was one more hand. Okay, you had a question. Okay, next one. But we'll close with that.
So I just want to know if,
Microphone.
My question is, during the talks with the Iranian deputy minister, was rupee real trade currency discussed? Same with the Russians. I mean,
a generic question addressed to all.
No, because the Russians, we are supposedly having a conversation with them regarding rupee-ruble trade. So, if there's any update on that.
Okay, some more? Another one? I'm sorry, I normally don't take second questions. Yeah, clarification. Go ahead.
Just a clarification on the numbers.
Okay.
Is it 200 total or is it 200 for Myanmar only?
Okay, this is about the evacuees.
Evacuees.
Okay, I'll just come back to you. Okay.
So one clarification.
Yeah, okay.
Sir, on Zakir Naik, was Zakir Naik invited by the Qatari government? Have they given any kind of clarification?
Okay. नीरज, आपका प्रश्न था प्राइस कैप पे। देखिए, प्राइस कैप के बारे में हमने पिछले बार भी काफ़ी बार कह चुके हैं कि इसमें डिटेल्स का क्या हम मालूम नहीं है और अभी कोई मेरे पास ऐसा कोई एडिशनल अपडेट नहीं है। आपने जो प्रश्न किया वो बहुत स्पेकुलेटिव है, उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा पहले हमें पता चले किस तरह से इम्प्लीमेंट हो रहा है और उससे प्राइस उससे कहने कम हो जाएगा, तो अगर वो है तो प्राइस कम रहेगा। पर देखिए, ये आप जो डील करते हैं, जो खरीदते हैं, आई थिंक हमारे पेट्रोलियम मंत्रालय वगैरह बेटर बता पाएंगे। Rajesh, your question, I really don't have an answer. It's an internal exercise of Nepal. I certainly wouldn't like to comment on it. Let's wait for the results to come out, and then we would hopefully look forward to working with the new government which will be formed. I don't know exactly how the results would be, but India and Nepal have a very special relationship, and we'll continue to have this very close relationship whichever government the people of Nepal chooses. I don't think the election results are out, so I think that's really premature for me to even comment on it. So let me stop here. Abhishek, you raised a couple of issues. No, one issue regarding, yes, I think about the some reference to Prime Minister Modi, and what your second question was relating to the visit. Right. Look, on the issue of, I don't know how I should comment on the first one. Let me just make a general comment. Frankly, I fail to understand how the comment on Prime Minister Modi, which you mentioned, I think the White House spokesperson or State Department, I don't remember, State Department perhaps, frankly, that comment on Prime Minister Modi was either relevant, necessary, or contextual. Our two countries enjoy a very special relationship that is going from strength to strength, and we look forward to working with the US to further deepen it. I think I'll let that be for the comment on that specific thing. Let me repeat. No, I never questioned that. If I could put my thoughts in a better way, I fail to understand how the comment on Prime Minister Modi was either relevant, necessary, or contextual. Okay, and you heard my comments on our views on the US relationship, which we value, which are going from strength to strength, and we look forward to deepening it. As regards this, I read somewhere about the visit to the US in December. That's the one you're talking about. Look, let me clarify. There is no proposal for a visit by the Prime Minister in December to US has been made by our side. Media reports in this regard are incorrect. Huma, you mentioned about rupee not ruble. I guess you meant rupee real and rupee ruble with the. I don't have anything more to share about the talks with Iran Deputy Foreign Minister. I told you what we have. If I have anything further, I'll come back to you. At this point, that's all I have to say. I'm not in a position to share more details. I'm not even sure myself if I know. I have a full readout. The meeting happened just a little while ago. On the Russian, look, on the larger issue, yes, we have, I think we discussed earlier about how we can keep our economic engagement going and what are the modalities, but whether it's specifically rupee ruble or other mechanisms, look, that is the area of probably more of the finance side or the commerce. So I don't have a comment on that. I don't see an immediate meeting in which this was discussed, so not in the recent past. Tawkir, your thing was a clarification of the numbers. No, let me clarify again. I'm talking about Myanmar specifically. Myanmar, we have rescued a little more than 200 people. I don't have exact numbers, the mid 205, 210. That depends on when you take the cutoff. And of which 153, which is a specific number, are back in India or repatriated to India. In addition, we had rescued, as I said, mid-60s number from Laos and from Cambodia, and then another 100 plus 108 or so from Laos. So that's the number. The Laos and Cambodia numbers haven't been changing too much, and there's not been too many recent cases, but with the Myanmar, it's a regular thing. So yes, 200 plus rescued and 150.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं मानक गुप्ता। अगर आपको हमारा ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसे लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें, और हाँ, हमें सब्सक्राइब और फॉलो करना ना भूलें ताकि आप देश और दुनिया की कोई खबर मिस ना करें। तो जुड़े रहिए हमारे साथ और देखते रहिए News24।